In our previous class, we have seen the rectangular waveguide. We have derived TE and TM mode rectangular waveguides, uh, different electric and magnetic field components. Today, let us very quickly recap the TE and TM modes, particularly for the rectangular waveguide. So, as now all of you aware that in a TE mode, it is considered as a transverse electric mode, while the TM mode is a transverse magnetic mode. In case of the TEMN mode, we know that the electric field component is in the direction z direction is 0. So ultimately Ez is 0 in a TEMN mode, while in a TM modes the magnetic field component in the z direction is 0. So HFZ will be 0. So I can say that the electromagnetic energy is transmitted by the H of Z component in a TEMN mode, while electromagnetic energy is transmitted by the EZ component in a TM modes. We have also seen the different modes which can be permissible in a TE and TM modes. So we have seen that the TE01 and the TE10 mode can exist in a TE mode or TE wave, while TM01 or TM10 mode does not exist. So this part already we have covered. So now with this I can say that here the the dominant mode for the TEMN mode is nothing but the TE10 mode, while the for the TM mode case, particularly TM11 is the dominant mode. So the cutoff frequency for this dominant mode TE10 FC will become the C by 2A, where A is nothing but our broader side dimensions in meter. So I can also say that the cutoff wavelength of for the TEMN mode is nothing but the 2A. So everything, each and everything we have already proved. So I am recapping very quickly. So same way for the case of the TM modes, the cutoff frequency for the dominant mode TM11, the relation will be nothing but the 2AB square root of A square by B square. So here it is nothing but simply for M equal to 1 and n equal to 1, if you put the values here for m equal to 1 and n equal to in our cutoff frequencies expressions, then you can get these expressions. So this is what the basic difference of the TE mode and TM mode. Now there are some components or the parameters that we have obtained for these two modes. The very first parameter was the cutoff number, and that we have defined as a Kc, and that is nothing but equal to square root of m pi by a square plus n pi by b whole square and its overall square root. So same expressions can be expressed in terms of the TM mode also. So here this cutoff wave number, I can also express in terms of the angular cutoff frequency, and that is nothing but equal to omega c square root of mu into epsilon. So same can be expressed in a TM mode too. Now the next important expression that we have obtained is a cutoff frequency. So cutoff frequency FC we have obtained, that is nothing but the 1 over 2 square root of epsilon and multiply by the square root of m by a square plus n by b square. So for the TM mode also we are getting the same expressions. So using these expressions we can easily calculate and can argue that whether the wave can propagate inside the guide or not. So this is a very crucial expressions for deciding the wave propagation inside the guide. So the another expressions, the propagation constant, or I can say that the phase constant beta g, that we have already seen, that is nothing but the omega square root of mu epsilon in bracket square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. So this phase constant can also be used to identify or to find out whether the signals can propagate inside a guide or not. So here this fc is the thing about our cutoff frequency, and this f is the thing about our operating frequencies, and this mu and epsilon is the thing about our permeability and permittivity of that medium. Another expression that we obtained is the thing about the guide wavelength, and that is the thing about the lambda by 1 minus fc by f square. So the same expressions we will also get in our TM mode too. So the next parameter that we obtain is the phase velocity. So phase velocity we have seen that it is nothing but the VP, and that is equal to c by square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. And we have also seen the group velocity, that is nothing but the d omega by d beta g. So it is that you consider that whenever there are more than one mode propagate inside the guide, then there will not be only a single phase velocity, but there may be the more than uh, one wave may have the different velocity, and hence we need to take care the parameter of the group velocity, and hence we have defined the group velocity is nothing but the Vg, and that is nothing but equal to d omega by d beta g. So these are some of the very common and very popular expressions that we have obtained. We have also seen our previous classes that if you take the product of these two, Vp and Vg, then we will get that is nothing but equal to c square, where c is nothing but our 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second, and that is nothing but equal to the speed of the light. And same can be expressed or can be obtained in our TM mode too. And the last parameter that we have discussed is nothing but the characteristic impedance. So the only difference that you can see here in TE and TM mode in terms of the these expressions, different parameters, is in a characteristic impedance. In this case, ZTE, which is nothing but the characteristic impedance of the rectangular waveguide in a TEMN mode, is nothing but the intrinsic impedance divided by the square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. While in a TM mode, you can say that this expression is in a multiplication. So now here eta into a square root of 1 minus fc by f whole square. So this way, this is the difference that all of you have to remember. Here, this is in a denominator part, all this part, and this part is in a numerator part. So multiply in a multiplications. So, and we have also derived that if you multiply these two impedance, characteristic impedance in a TE and the TM mode, then we will get once again back our intrinsic impedance and its square. So ZTE into ZTM will be equal to the eta square, where eta is nothing but our intrinsic impedance in a free space. Okay, so another expressions that will be useful while doing the practical, and hence we have derived this expression also in our previous classes, and it is considered as a relation between our operating wavelength, between the guide wavelength and the cutoff wavelength. So in our laboratory, sometimes if we have to find out the either lambda g, or sometimes you have to find out the lambda 0, then these expressions can be used and can obtain the desired result. So with this, I should now say that we have now completed the complete rectangular waveguide, and we have discussed the TE and TM mode for this rectangular waveguide, and we have derived and tried to solve the problems related with these rectangular waveguides. So now, as I mentioned, that our next objective is the circular waveguide. So let us today try to see what do you mean by the circular waveguide, how to get some mathematical expressions, and what is the TE and TM mode in a circular waveguide, and which are these expressions, whether these same expressions we can use that we have obtained for the rectangular waveguide, or is there any other expressions that we need to use. So all these things we have to see, yeah, now in this today's class. Okay, so let us see now the circular waveguide. So yes, before I start the circular waveguide, yes, anyone have any doubt or any questions regarding the this rectangular waveguide? Please, please give me the response, so that based on your response, I can try to give you the the answer too. So yes, is it fine? Is it fine? Do you have any questions? Please, yes, or shall I move ahead? Hello, is it fine? Hello, is it fine? Salpaben, Krishna, Deepali, Vivek, Mohammed, Sahadev, is it fine? Shall I move forward? Okay, so I'm not getting any response from your side. So I hope that now all of you know. So now let me. Hello, hello, hello. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you see the screen? Hello. Hello, can you see the screen? Krishna, can you see the screen that I have shared?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Uh, whatever
Yes.
whatever I am writing here, can you see? Because I feel that it is not showing. મારામાં નથી બતાડતો, એટલા માટે હું પૂછું છું. બતાય છે તમને?
ના સર તમે લખો છો એ નથી બતાતું.
હા, હું એ જ કહું છું, લખું છું એ નથી બતાતું ને. હા, 1 minute, huh? Yes, now is it fine?
Yes, sir.
ઓકે ફાઇન. ઓકે, તો ચાલો આપણે ફટાફટ circular waveguide ને જોઈએ. So let me clear here there is some mathematics part, but don't worry about the mathematics. Whatever I try to explain you try to remember this part. આપણે પ્રયત્ન કરીશું કે જેટલું સરળ થઈ શકે એટલું સરળ બનાવીએ. તો very first thing that circular waveguide, it means that name itself suggests that the shape of the waveguide is now a circular type. So uh, let me draw one simple one cylinder type of the shape, which you can consider as a consider as a our circular waveguide. Okay, so here this is your z axis, this is your x, this one is your y axis, and let I put that there is a center point in our cylindrical coordinate systems, and where the total radius of this cylinder is the thing called the a. Okay, and there is a one vector I put that that is the thing called the r. Okay, and if I take the projection over this cylinder, and then if I take this from center, if I will do the cross sections, then I will get the my new variable, and that is the thing but our phi. So it means that now I have in a circular waveguide I have a cylindrical coordinate coordinates representation of the circular waveguide, and here the terms that I have used is nothing but the r, phi, and the z. So r is nothing but our radius of that cylinder, phi is nothing but our tangential component, and the z is nothing but the height of that circular waveguide. So let you assume that this height is nothing but the z here. So this I can say that it is nothing but the z. So what is my objective? My objective here is to find out the first of all the general wave equations, so that that can be used to find out the solution of that E field and H field inside this circular waveguide. એટલે આપણો ઓબ્જેક્ટિવ શું છે અલ્ટિમેટલી કે ગમે એમ કરીને આ સર્ક્યુલર વેવગાઇડ છે તો સિલિન્ડ્રિકલ કોઓર્ડિનેટ સિસ્ટમની મદદથી આપણે આમાં આ જે શેપ છે એમાં કઈ રીતના ફિલ્ડ ઈ ફિલ્ડ અને એચ ફિલ્ડ છે એ રિપ્રેઝન્ટ કરી શકાય, કઈ રીતના એક્ઝિસ્ટ કરી શકીએ, એમાં કયા પ્રકારના મોડ એક્ઝિસ્ટ થઈ શકે, તો એ આપણો ઓબ્જેક્ટિવ છે. તો એ ઓબ્જેક્ટિવને સોલ્વ કરવા માટે આપણે એમ કહી શકાય કે વી નો ધેટ ઇન અવર સિલિન્ડ્રિકલ કોઓર્ડિનેટ સિસ્ટમ, તમે ઇલેક્ટ્રોમેગ્નેટિક ક્લાસની થિયરી ભણ્યા હતા એમાં તમે જોયું હતું કે લેટ I can express the scalar wave equation in cylindrical coordinate systems, and that is nothing but equal to 1 over r del over del r in bracket r del psi by del r plus 1 over r square del square psi over del I square plus del square psi over del z square, and that is equal to gamma square psi. So what is our objective? Our objective was to find out that del square psi, that is equal to gamma square psi. Okay, and now same I have expressed in terms of the cylindrical coordinate system. So as in our last previous rectangular waveguide case also, what was our objective? Our objective was to find out the psi term, and that is nothing but our main focus parameter. So to obtain these psi parameters in our rectangular waveguide, we have used the rectangular coordinate systems because it was more suited for the rectangular shape. But now because our shape is a kind of the circular waveguide, so we have to use the cylindrical coordinate systems. So I have used these cylindrical coordinate systems, and I try to express these expressions in terms of the cylindrical coordinate systems. Now here this I can say that the psi term, where I can write that the psi term has a solution is nothing but, as I mentioned, here also I will get the solution in terms of the r in bracket I, phi in bracket z, and z in bracket z. So what does it indicate? It actually indicates that if this is the differential Helmholtz wave equations, then the solution of these equations is nothing but the psi, and that is nothing but the function of some r coordinate only, function of some phi coordinate only, and the function of some z coordinate only. So let me write down this part. So here this r of r, I can say it is the function of the r coordinate only. Same way I can write phi of z is a function of phi coordinate only. Same way z of z is a function of z coordinates only. So ultimately I can say that if somehow if I will obtain the solution of this r of r, phi of phi, and z of z, then I will get the final solution of this psi, and that is what our prime objective. So what I can do, I can put this, for example, let me assume that this is your second number equations, this one is your number one equations, and if I will put these two into one, and some, if I will do some simple mathematics, then I will get in this lesson the final expressions. So bear with me, I am writing so many steps directly, but કેમ કે તમારે જરૂર નથી ઘણા બધા સ્ટેપ્સને વચ્ચેથી તમે હટાવી શકશો, પણ અત્યારે સ્ટેપ્સ જેટલા જરૂરી છે એટલા જ હું અહીંયા લખી રહ્યો છું, જેથી તમને વધારે કન્ફ્યુઝન પણ ના થાય અને આપણે સરળતાથી આ જે મેથેમેટિક્સ છે એને શું કહેવા માંગે છે, એનું ફિઝિકલ સિગ્નિફિકન્સ શું છે એ સમજી શકીએ. So અહીંયા what I did, I simply do some simple mathematics and I put now this equation number 1 in as an equation number 3. So here you can see that now once again there are 3 independent terms. Here this is your one independent term, second one is this one is your also one of the independent term, this one is also your third independent term. So what I can say that it means that if we will use some separation of variable method as we have used in our previous class also, in our rectangular class, rectangular waveguide class also, then what will happen that because these terms we have assumed that they are independent to each other and they are constant. So how can I find out the solution of this individual expressions? તો પહેલા વહેલા શું કરીએ, આપણે પેલો આ ભાગ છે ને એને સોલ્વ કરીએ. 3 માંથી આ 1 નંબર છે, આ 2 નંબર છે અને આ 3 નંબર છે. તો આપણે 3 નંબરનો પાર્ટ છે એમાં લેટ યુ અઝ્યુમ કે લેટ d²z by dz² is nothing but the gamma g² into z. Okay, so I can say that હવે આ જે એક્સપ્રેશન થયું તો it is just like a simple wave equation. So solution of this wave equation is nothing but I can say z is nothing but equal to શું થાય તો કે ભાઈ એક a ટર્મ હોય અને એક b ટર્મ હોય અને e⁻ gamma z પ્લસ b e⁻ gamma g z. So આ તમે મેથેમેટિક્સ તમે સિમ્પલ ભણ્યા હતા અને ત્યાં તમે કીધું હતું કે ભાઈ here this gamma g is nothing but our propagation constant in a guide. તો આપણે propagation constant in a guide. So I can say that now I have now the solution of the one of the expressions. So if I will put this gamma g² that is equal to nothing but આના બરાબર આખું લખી દઉં કે del² dz બરાબર તો gamma g² લખી દઉં અને થોડું ઘણું ફરીથી હું આમનું આ જે ઇક્વેશન નંબર 3 છે એને હું જો ફરીથી એક્સપ્રેસ કરું તો I can write that in this way, r by r d by dr r into dr over dr plus 1 over phi d² phi over d phi square અને આ બરાબર મેં ગામા g² લખું છું એટલે અહીંયા આવી રીતે તમે જો જાતે ટ્રાય કરજો જ્યારે તો આવી રીતના આવશે gamma² minus gamma g² into r² and that is equal to 0. So આ થયું તમારું equation number, next equation. For example, this is your 4th, this one is your 5th and this one is your 6th equation. So now you can see that now everything is in terms of the r variable અને phi variable ના ટર્મમાં આવી ગયું છે. કેમ કે હવે આપણે અહીંયા gamma² અને gamma g ના ટર્મમાં તો બધું લાવી દીધું. તો હવે શું કરીએ કે let we try to find out this part. હવે આપણે આ ભાગ 2 નંબરનો પાર્ટ છે સોલ્વ કરવાનો ટ્રાય કરીએ. So solution of this I can say that the d² by d phi square so એમ કહી શકાય because it is a function of phi only. Okay, so I can say that now it is nothing but kind of the some constant value. Okay, and that constant I put it as a minus eta², for example minus n². So this is my expressions where I put that let this is nothing but where this minus n² is nothing but some constant value. Okay, so now you can see that once again now these expressions become like a wave equations, so harmonic equations. Okay, in the solution of these harmonic equations is nothing but what? So the solution of above equation This once again is nothing but what? કે એમ કહી શકાય કે એક sin નું ટર્મ હોય ને cosine નું ટર્મ હોય. તો sin is nothing but phi is nothing but the suppose an sin n phi plus bn cos n phi. Are you getting? So now I have a, this one is our 7th number equation, this one is my 8th number equations. Okay, so but 1 minute. Okay, so with this I can say that now I have a second જે equation છે આપણે ટોટલ જે ત્રણ ઇન્ડિપેન્ડન્ટ ટર્મ્સ હતા, ત્રણ ઇન્ડિપેન્ડન્ટ ટર્મ્સ હતા એમાંથી આ બેના તો સોલ્યુશન લાવી દીધું છે. તો હવે આ જે ખાલી એક ટર્મ વધ્યું છે તો એને કઈ રીતના આપણે રિપ્લેસ કરી શકીએ. સો what we can do that by now what we do that જ્યાં પણ આપણે phi ટર્મ છે ત્યાં આપણે એવું કરી શકીએ કે we can replace by this constant term minus n square. ઓકે, એટલે આ જે ઇક્વેશન નંબર 6 છે એમાં phi ની જગ્યાએ we will replace by minus n square અને જો અને and multiply with suppose r, multiply with r, then we will get finally આપણે છેલ્લે શું મળશે તો કે r d r over sorry d capital R over d r in bracket r d r over sorry here d by dr, sorry there will be nothing here, so r dr by dr plus now what I will get here, I will get હું અહીંયા આ જે ટર્મ આ phi ની જગ્યાએ માઇનસ થીટા સ્ક્વેર કરી નાખું અને મલ્ટીપ્લાય આ જે ઇક્વેશનને r સાથે કરું તો ગામા સ્ક્વેર માઇનસ ગામા g સ્ક્વેર છે ને એની સાથે એને હું એવી રીતના ડિફાઇન કરું છું કે આપણે જેટલું કટ ઓફ વેવ નંબર ડિફાઇન કર્યો હતો ને તો એવી રીતે હું અહીંયા કટ ઓફ નંબર ડિફાઇન કરી દઉં છું. તો અહીંયા આવી જશે kcr હોલ સ્ક્વેર માઇનસ n સ્ક્વેર and capital R and that is nothing but equal to 0. So આ થયું there is a one final expression where everything is in terms of the R only. હવે તમે જુઓ તો બધું ઇક્વેશન છે એ એક જ વેરિયેબલમાં બની ગયું અને એ વેરિયેબલ છે that is nothing but our R coordinates only. So here let me write first I can write that this is your this is the Bessel equation of order n in which I can write kc square plus gamma square is nothing but equal to gamma g square. So this is what the cutoff wave number that has been defined now for the circular waveguide. હવે આ થયું તમારું kc બની ગયો. Now these equations I can say that this kc square plus gamma square that is equal to gamma g square is considered as a characteristic equations of the Bessel equations. So I can say that this is the equation, it is called the characteristic equation of Bessel equation. And for lossless guide the beta g, because we already now know this beta g, I can say that it is nothing but the plus or minus omega omega square epsilon minus kc square. So now I have introduced now the two terms. One is considered as a phase constant, which is nothing but our equal to plus or minus square root of omega square mu epsilon minus kc square. So with this I can say that now we have one expressions, these expressions which is nothing but Bessel equations of the order n, and in these expressions we have tried to express the characteristic equations, and that is nothing but our kc square plus gamma square is nothing but the gamma g square, where we can say that for lossless guide the guide phase constant will become can be expressed in terms of these expressions. So ultimately, now because this is the expression, but still we need to find out the solutions. Solution of this, because it is a Bessel functions, so it is very obvious that now you should have some Bessel functions. So let me try to give you the idea about that part too. એમ કહી શકાય કે જ્યારે કોઈ બેઝલ ફંક્શન્સ હોય તો એ બેઝલ ઇક્વેશન્સનું સોલ્યુશન તમે ફાઇન્ડ કરતા હોય ત્યારે સોલ્યુશન of the Bessel equation are nothing but capital R, because here we know that we are looking the solution of this expression number 9. So R will become nothing but the some constant Cn. Then I can express as some nth order Bessel function, and that is nothing but the Jn in bracket Kc into R plus some constant Dn and Nn and Kc into R. So what I can say that જેમ તમે કોઈ હાર્મોનિક ઇક્વેશન્સ હોય તો હાર્મોનિક ઇક્વેશન માટે આપણે સોલ્યુશન લેવા હોય તો you have the solution in terms of some sine and cosine. Same way for the Bessel equations, if you have to find out the solution, then there are two parts where one part is considered as where there is a one part, and that is called the Jn Kc into R, and it is nothing but the nth order Bessel function of first kind, which actually representing. So what does it mean? It actually representing that how the standing waves of the cosine function. Okay, કોઈ cosine functions હોય તો એમના standing wave નું representation છે that has been expressed, that can be expressed by this nth order Bessel function of the first kind. એટલે એમ કહી શકાય કે it representing actually the standing wave of Kc, so cos function of that Kc into R. So where you have to remember the R is less than A. So when the radius is less than that maximum size of that cylinder, then for that case you can represent the standing waves in terms of the cosine function, and that is nothing but our nth order Bessel function of the first kind. Same way I have the another one Nn Kcr, but and that actually express that the Nn Kcr, I can say that it is the nth order Bessel function of second kind. Okay, so and it actually representing the standing wave of the sine term, so sine Kc of Kc into R for the case when the R is greater than A. So whenever you are looking for the radius R which is greater than A, then you have to use this nth order Bessel function of the second kind, and that is the thing with the Nn in bracket Kc into R. So ultimately I just want to conclude that now, because we have now each and every term's solutions, so our objective was to find out the sign. Okay, so our objective was to find out this sign, and for obtaining that sign we have seen that we have obtained that આપણે એક ફંક્શન લાયા કે ભાઈ આ ઉપરનું ફંક્શન છે r ના ટર્મનું એ લાવ્યા, તો એ તો લખી જ શકાય. So let me write this Cn Jn Kcr plus dn nn in bracket kc into r. Now multiply by, કેમ કે આપણે ખાલી આ એક જ વેરિયેબલ નહોતો, આપણી પાસે બીજા પણ વેરિયેબલ હતા, એન્ડ ધેટ ઇઝ નથિંગ બટ ઇક્વલ ટુ કે આપણે જે પેલા ઓલું ફાઈ ટર્મ જોયું હતું ને, એમાં પણ સોલ્યુશન ઓફ ધેટ હાર્મોનિક ઇક્વેશન્સ હતું, એન્ડ ધેટ વોઝ નથિંગ બટ અવર am sin n phi plus bn cos n phi. So this one is our second term. So I can say that now ultimately I have a functions solutions which is nothing but the which is having some constant of some an, bn, cn, dn, and some sine function, some cosine function, some Bessel function of the first kind, and some Bessel function of the second kind. And as you know that now, because we know the wave propagation is in the direction of the z, so I'm not writing that z component. I'm directly writing that it is nothing but e raised to minus plus or minus j beta g into z. So ultimately our objective was to find out this sign, and that actually represent either the E field or the H field inside the circular waveguide. So એનો મતલબ એવો થયો કે જો આપણને આ સાઈન ટર્મ ખબર પડી જાય તો we can easily calculate the E and H field. તો હવે હું આ એક્સપ્રેશનને પણ વધારે સરળતાથી એક્સપ્રેશન જો આપણે કરવું હોય તો હું આને આ રીતે પણ લખી શકું છું કે I can write that કે આ જે m sin અને cos નું ટર્મ છે ને એને આપણે cos n phi ના ટર્મમાં પણ રિપ્રેઝન્ટ કરી શકીએ. તો here I am writing that there is some constant sin 0 then jn kc into r, and because here when there is a radius r equal to 0, we are getting this term will become infinite, and so this constant term become 0. So if for that particular case if we will consider, then we will find that the solution of this sign is nothing but some constant value sin 0 jn kcr, and then some cos n phi e raised to minus j beta g into z. And we will also see that this an part will also become 0. So ultimately I will get everything is in terms of some Bessel functions of the first order, some cos functions, and multiply with some e raised to minus beta g into z. તો આપણે જ્યારે રેક્ટેંગ્યુલર વેવગાઇડ જોયું હતું ત્યારે એમાં a b c d ને e કોન્સ્ટન્ટ હતા અને કોસ અને સાઇનના ફંક્શનમાં આવતું હતું, પરંતુ અહીંયા જે સાઇનનું સોલ્યુશન આવે છે it is nothing but having a some Bessel function of the first kind. તો હવે આ થયું તમારું ફાઇનલ સોલ્યુશન. બટ what is our objective? Our objective here is to find out the કે ભાઈ what is the TE mode in circular guide, circular waveguide. તો એ કેસમાં શું કરવું પડે, બરાબર? તો એ કેસ માટે તમારે શું કરવું પડે કે આ જે ઇક્વેશન છે એમાં all of you now aware that the TE mode માં Ez will become 0. So we are looking only for Hz. So it will become del square Hz, that is nothing but equal to gamma square Hz. હવે જો આનું સોલ્યુશન લાવવું હોય તો that is nothing but equal to Hz. આપણે sin 0 હવે ખાલી z કમ્પોનન્ટ જ રહેશે, એટલે H0z jn kcr આવું લખી શકાય, cos now n phi e raised to minus j beta g into z. So this is what now our h of z component. તો આ થયો તમારો h of z component. તો હવે TE મોડની અંદર કે જે રિસ્પોન્સિબલ છે EM એનર્જીને ટ્રાન્સફર કરવા માટે h of z એ આપણી પાસે અવેલેબલ છે. તો જો હવે શું કરવું પડે, the only thing that you have to look for the other component. તો હવે મારે શું કરવું પડે કે other component are ER, E phi, Ez already we know that is nothing but equal to 0. We should go for the HR and we should also go for the H phi, and Hz તો already હવે available છે. તો એનો મતલબ એવો થયો કે આપણે ગમે તે રીતે મેક્સવેલની ઇક્વેશન્સનો યુઝ કરીને આપણે આ એચ ઓફ ઝેડમાંથી ફરીથી આપણે ER E5 HR H5 કમ્પોનન્ટ ફાઇન્ડ કરવા પડે. પરંતુ યાદ રાખો આપણે આટલું બધું મેથેમેટિક્સમાં જવાનું નથી. તમારે શું યાદ રાખવાનું છે? ફક્ત કે ભાઈ સર્ક્યુલર કોઈ વેવગાઇડ હોય, કોઈ સર્ક્યુલર વેવગાઇડ હોય તો સર્ક્યુલર વેવગાઇડની અંદર હેલ્મહોલ્ટ્ઝ વેવ ઇક્વેશન્સ ફોલો કરે તો એ હેલ્મહોલ્ટ્ઝ વેવ ઇક્વેશનની અંદર ડેલ સ્ક્વેર સાઈ ઇઝ ઇક્વલ ટુ ગામા સ્ક્વેર ઇન્ટુ સાઈ થાય. તો એમને તમારે ખાલી સિલિન્ડ્રિકલ કોઓર્ડિનેટ સિસ્ટમમાં રિપ્રેઝેન્ટ કરી દેવાના અને એ જે એનું સોલ્યુશન છે ધેટ ઇઝ નથિંગ બટ અવર આર ઓફ આર, ફાઈ ઓફ ફાઈ અને ઝેડ ઓફ ઝેડ કહી શકાય. અને પછી થોડું ઘણું મેથેમેટિક્સ પછી તમે એવું આપણે ડિરાઈવ કરવાનું કે ભાઈ અલ્ટિમેટલી આઈ વિલ ગેટ ધ સાઇન is in terms of some Bessel function. તો સાઈ ટર્મ મને મળી ગયું and that actually represent everything is in terms of some Bessel functions of the first kind, some cos functions તો ના ટર્મમાં રહે છે. તો હવે આપણે આના મદદથી આ સાઈન ખબર હોય તો એ સાઈન અહીંયા મૂકી અને આપણે એચ ઓફ ઝેડ જેવી રીતે ટીઈ મોડ છે તો એમાં મેળવી શકીએ. તો આપણે બહુ ડિટેલમાં જઈશું નહીં અને આપણે કોઈ ફાઇનલ એક્સપ્રેશન પણ હું તમને બતાડતો નથી, પરંતુ હું તમને ખાલી એટલું કહીશ અહીંયા કે આપણે શું કરવું પડે કે બાઉન્ડ્રી કન્ડિશન યુઝ કરવી પડે. તો અહીંયા બાઉન્ડ્રી કન્ડિશન પૂરું કરતી વખતે યુ હેવ ટુ ટેક કેર કે આપણે શું કરતા હતા અત્યાર સુધી આપણે TEMN મોડને સ્ટડી કરતા હતા. આર યુ ગેટિંગ? બટ ઇન કેસ ઓફ ધ સર્ક્યુલર વેવગાઇડ TEMN મોડમાં શું થતું હતું કે વેર M actually indicates that the number of the half wave variations in a x direction, while n actually represents the number of half variations in the y direction. But here in case of the TE in a circular waveguide TEMN mode ના હોય, અહીંયા હોય TE I can say right NP mode. બરાબર? એટલે અહીંયા n અને p છે એ n છે એ નંબર ઓફ ઝીરોઝ રિપ્રેઝેન્ટ કરે છે અને p છે એ કેટલા સર્કમ્ફરન્સીસ કમ્પ્લીટ કરે છે એ સર્ક્યુલર વેવગાઇડને એ નંબર ડિસ્પ્લે કરે છે. તો કહેવાનો મતલબ એમ છે કે જ્યારે તમે આ જે ફંક્શનને સોલ્વ કરતા હોય ત્યારે યુ વિલ ગેટ સમ ફિક્સ વેલ્યુ કે એ પરમિશેબલ વેલ્યુ માટે જ એ કટ ઓફ નંબર છે એ એક્ઝિસ્ટ કરશે. તો હું તમને એમ કહીશ કે અહીંયા આપણે ટૂંકમાં યાદ રાખીશું કે જ્યારે કોઈ પરમિશેબલ વેલ્યુ ઓફ ધ કેસી એક્ઝિસ્ટ કરવાની વાત હોય ત્યારે એક TE વેવની અંદર યુ વિલ ગેટ x kc that will become xn prime by a. તો આ ફોર્મ્યુલા યાદ રાખવાની થશે. So we will see the next time once again the same part, but at the moment please remember that you should know how to deal with the circular waveguide, how to find out the final solution of that psi variable and how we can express the TE mode in a circular waveguide. So with this I will stop here because I think you might have the other class too. Okay, so thank you very much. અને કોઈ ડાઉટ હોય તો ચેટ બોક્સમાં લખી દેજો. Okay, so let me stop here first of all.